Hello everyone, this is my full course of JavaScript. If you're new to web development, this is your career game changer. Stay tuned. Hello guys, in this video we are going to learn about overview of JavaScript runtime and we'll deep dive into web APIs, callback queues and event loops. Finally, we'll recap this video. Now, the first one, overview of JavaScript runtime. JavaScript runtime simply refers to where your code executed when you run it. For example, if you are using Chrome, your code executed inside V8 engine. If you are using Edge, your code is executed inside the engine is called Chakra. If you are using Firefox, your code will execute inside SpiderMonkey engine. But we can use our JavaScript outside the browser, right? We see this in previous video. So if you are using Node means your code executed in Chrome V8 engine because Node.js is using Chrome V8 engine. So if using Node, your code executed inside the V8 engine. So we understood that heart of the JavaScript runtime is JavaScript engine, right? Now just imagine this square box is a JavaScript runtime in the browser. The JavaScript runtime should have JavaScript engine. If without JavaScript engine, there is no JavaScript runtime. Without JavaScript runtime, there is no JavaScript language at all. But the JavaScript engine is the only not enough in order to work properly. For that, we need web APIs, callback queues, and event loops. And these are the things are not a part of JavaScript engine, but JavaScript engine having access to use this. Now, the second one, web APIs. Web APIs are the functionality provided by the browser. JavaScript engine having access to this web API through the global window object. Okay, so web APIs are not a part of JavaScript engine. Here I mentioned some example of web APIs like DOM, file APIs, and fetch API. By using this fetch API, we are doing HTTP request and a browser supporting many more APIs. If you are interested, you can just explore this. Now, the third one, callback queue. Callback queue is a data structure that works based on first in first out basis. It contains multiple callback functions that are ready to be executed. Okay. For example, we'll see this click function. We are attaching this click function to the button element, right? Because while we clicking the button, it need to trigger something, right? So if we click that button, it will trigger the on click event function. So this on click event function is passed into callback queue. Okay, so once the call stack is empty, this function is passed into call stack. Then call stack will execute the function. So we can see the output. These are the things are handled by event loop, something called event loop. Okay, we'll see this in next. Now, the fourth one, event loop. The main purpose of the event loop is it take the callback function from the callback queue and pass it to call stack. So call stack will execute the function. So we can see the output. Here I mentioned some key feature. So this event loop continuously checking this call stack is empty or not. Okay, if it is empty, it checks the callback queue. So if the callback queue having some callback function means it pass that callback function to the call stack, so it will be executed, right? So this happen continuously. So event loop is called as a non-blocking concurrency model. So JavaScript using event loop, right? So JavaScript is multitasking, almost it's multitasking. Now quickly see one example so you can better understand web APIs, callback queue and event loop. Okay, here I am using two functions. First one is print first statement function, it having web APIs. Second one is print second statement function. First I am executing print first statement, then I am executing print second statement. Okay, so first this print first statement is passed into callback queue. I am using green color for first function. Okay, this is passed into callback queue. Then I am using yellow color for second statement. Okay, then this one is passed into callback queue. Okay, so this callback queue checks the call stack is empty or not. Okay, using event loop. So if the call stack is empty, this first function is passed into call stack. So call stack execute the first function, right? So call stack checks the function. So the first function having web APIs, right? So this first function is passed into web API. So web API will execute. Okay. So after that call stack will be empty. So this call stack will be cleared. Then the event loop checks the call stack is empty or not, right? So as usual it's empty. So this second function is passed into call stack. Okay. So the call stacks execute the code. Then the output will be produced because we added a console. Okay, a console second statement, so we can see the output second statement. Then this web API is executed after 3 seconds, right? Here we added set time mode with a 3-second time delay. So once this web API is executed, it returns one function to the callback queue. Okay, so again the event loop checks the call stack is empty or not, right? So if it is empty, then this function passed into call stack again. So after that it will be executed. So we can see the output is first statement. Got it? If you didn't understand this means just pause this video and watch this again. Now quickly recap this video. The heart of the JavaScript runtime is the JavaScript engine, right? Because the JavaScript engine executing our code. So without JavaScript engine there is no JavaScript runtime. Without JavaScript runtime there is no JavaScript language at all. Okay, but the JavaScript engine alone only not enough. It requires web APIs to work properly. We can access the web API using global window object. Then the callback queue. The callback queue holds the callback function that are ready to be executed. It following first in first out order. So the event loop is responsible for moving callback function from the callback queue to call stack. So it will be executed. So event loop checks the call stack continuously. If it is empty, it will pass the callback function from the callback queue to the event. I mean, even from the callback function to the call stack. So it will be executed. So using event loop, JavaScript operates on non-blocking concurrency model. So it can have ability to multitasking. So this is the real very basic fundamental that every JavaScript developer need to understand. But just remember, we can use the JavaScript outside the browser also. Example Node.js. So the Node.js not having web APIs because it's not having browser, but it's binded inside the C++ code, right? So Node.js we can't use web APIs. That's it, guys. In next video, we'll explore how to use Chrome DevTool effectively. All right, that's it, guys. These are the basic things I had to tell you about JavaScript runtime. If you have any feedback or suggestion, feel free to post it in the comment section so that I can learn from it. If you like my work, feel free to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.